Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to our series of lecture concerning the course Phytotherapy, and welcome to the seventh lecture of this course with the term or the title Herbs and Health Food. It is worth mentioning this lecture designed for fifth year pharmacy student at Faculty of Pharmacy and Elaine University. At the beginning, the term herbs means the plant part or the whole plant which used for flavor or as or for its their medicinal purposes. And health food, and sometimes referred to as functional food and superfood, means nutrient-rich items with which aim for overall wellness and for disease prevention. In order to go in deep in the difference and the understanding of these two terms, herbs and health food, this lecture is designed and involve some important topic outlines which will be discussed to understand this term well. This outline includes to highlight the difference between supplement and food. Also introduce the definition of herb and health food. Besides, introduce and discuss the meaning of individualizing food. Also provide the difference and relation between GM food or genetically modified foods, or sometimes termed as transgenic food, and the relation between GM food and antibiotic resistance as one of public health important concern. Lastly, the lecture will spotlight on two important terms which related to herb and health food. This term include the meaning of bromatology or the science of food and nutrition food. Welcome to this lecture, and we need to go deep in the relation and the meaning of the term herbs and health food. So, objective of this lecture, herbs and health foods, include the following objectives. One of them, one of the objectives is understanding the historical foundation of food as medicine, and beginning with Hippocrates and evolution of nutritional sciences. The second objective is to differentiate between herb and health food through recognizing their definition, cultural roles, regulatory frameworks, and associated risk. The third objective is to explain the concept of functional food, including phytonutrient, their classes, biological function, and clinical application. The fourth objective, compare supplement and food through identifying their primary uses, form, regulation, risk, and market position. The fifth objective is to explore the principle of individualizing food and linking traditional medicine perspective, including Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, with modern sciences such as nutrigenomics and pharmacogenomics. The objective number 6 of the lecture, the title Herbs and Health Food, is to define transgenic food, which is donated as GM and transgenic food or genetically modified food, outline their benefit, risk, regulatory perspectives, and assess their role in modern agriculture and nutrition. The objective number 7, to evaluate the relationship between GM food or genetically modified food or transgenic food and antibiotic resistance. Understanding the relation between GM food and antibiotic resistance through understanding public health concern, environmental resistance, and regulatory responses. Objective number 8, to describe single cell food, or donated as SCP, including their sources such as algae, fungi, yeast, and bacteria, and also describe their nutritional value, their significance, and challenges. Number 9, distinguish between bromatology, which is known as food science also, and nutrition science. Distinguish relation between food science and nutrition science, which are different or not similar. Through comparing their focus, methods, application, and goals. The objective number 10, to appreciate the broader significance of interacting herbs, health food, functional food, supplement, GM food, and single cell protein into modern food system, balancing innovation, their safety, and cultural identity. In order to understand the previously mentioned objective of the topic herbs and health food, the following topic outlines are designed and including number 1, general introduction and spotlight on the historical recognition of food role in preventing and treating diseases, and development in nutritional science over last century. The topic number 2 cover the herbs, including their definition, form, regulation, and health risk. So, topic number 3, or the outline number 3 of the topic, the health food, and highlights their definition, cultural diet, and health risk of health food. Content number 4, to compare herbs versus health food and to highlight the regulatory distinctions when a herb treated as medicine and health food as food product. And the second topic in health versus food, the comparative table, compare the uses, cultural role, example, regulation, risk and market position of herbs and health. The topic number 5 in this lecture, the functional food. We discuss in detail the definition and the relation between phytonutrients and phytochemicals and the synonyms of functional food, and provide example functional food such as yogurt with antibiotics, the clinical uses of functional food, and the regulation in which functional food cannot be marketed as medicines, and distinct it from dietetic food. Topic number 6, or outline number 6 of this topic, supplement versus food, and we spot what is the difference between supplement and food through providing their definition, regulation, risk, and provide this information in comparative table. So outline number 9 is about GM food and antibiotic resistance, and we show the link between antibiotic resistance, marker gene, and genetically modified crop development. Also, we discuss the risk of antibiotic resistance and the regulatory background about the use of GM food and the presence or the occurrence of resistant antibiotic. The outline number 10, single food, and we provide a definition for single cell food with example and nutritional profile, their significance, and the health risk of single cell food. Number 11, outline, or number 11, the difference between bromatology or food science and nutrition science. And as we know, food science or bromatology focus on food composition, processing, and safety, while nutrition science focus on human dietary needs and metabolism. Also, we compare between the focus method application and goal of bromatology as food science, nutrition and nutrition science, which focus on human diet. As introduction for the lecture, health, food and herb, the beginning or the root of importance of herb and health food is originate from Hippocrates' statement, who says that let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. From Hippocrates, we observe that certain food had potential both to prevent and treat diseases, and recognize the effect of nutritional deficiencies and excess on health. Based on Hippocrates' statement about the food and its health benefit and the use it for treatment and prevention of diseases, another observation over the last 10 years A number of significant developments have been made in nutritional science, and this development or this significant development include identifying essential nutrients and documenting their associated biochemical pathway, and the second thing, defining nutrient reference value and RDI, or the recommended dietary intake, which are required to prevent nutritional deficiency. The second or the third development in nutritional science, establishing dietary guidelines that include increasing consumption of fruit, vegetables, and fibers, and reducing fat. And the fourth significant development is developing food guides such as food pyramids that can be used for daily meal planning. All these significant development in nutritional science can shed light on the importance of health food and the use of herb in prevention and treatment of diseases, and this is why we focus on this type of food or health food and their importance for treatment and their importance for human health. So now in this slide, we need to highlight the question, what are herbs? Herbs, in this lecture, we mean by herb a plant or their part used for flavoring or medicinal purposes, and they are often consumed as teas, tinctures, or supplement. Example of required herb as defined by this lecture, including ginger, chamomile, and turmeric. And these herbs, in fact, are integral or are essential part in a lot of traditional health or traditional system of medicine, including Ayurveda, TCM, and Islamic herbalism. And in fact, these herbs in Europe are marketed as medicine, must meet strict safety and efficacy standard. And on other hand, in the United States, herbs are often sold as dietary supplement with less stringent oversight compared to pharmaceuticals. So the regulatory framework and the concept of the use of herb in Europe is different than in USA. In Europe, there are some restrictions about safety and efficacy, while in the United States, they sold as dietary supplement with less stringent oversight about their safety and efficacy. Unfortunately, the risk of herb include the variability in their potency, contamination level, and possible drug interaction. So, in summary of this slide, herb are plant or their part used for as flavor or as medicine, and presented in form of teas, tincture, or supplement. Example of this herb include ginger, chamomile, and turmeric. And the regulatory framework of herb as a concept of using herb in Europe and USA are there's some differences, and for Europe, they have a strict concern about their safety and efficacy when compared to United States. The restriction is less. And the main risk for the hair, their variability in their potency and the level of contamination, and the possibility of drug. So in this slide, we need to answer the question: what are health food? Health food, known as or defined as a nutrient-rich items or nutrient-rich items consumed for overall wellness and disease prevention. Health food are nutrient-rich items consumed for overall wellness and disease prevention. And also they are known as superfood and or functional food, and marketed in this name. If we said functional food or superfood or all of these words or both of these words are health food. An example of health food or superfood are oat, almonds, olive oil, and dates. These are nutrient-rich items and can be consumed for overall wellness and disease prevention. Also, the health food differ from area to another and based on or having the cultural root or cultural base. For example, the Mediterranean diet emphasizes olive oil, legumes, and fish, while in Middle East or Middle Eastern diets, they highlight date, sesame, and honey. And with these differences in the type of health food or type of superfood, highlights the cultural significance concerning the type of food used in a specific area. A modern wellness culture promotes clean eating and functional diet. And the food regulated or health food regulated as food product, not as medicine. And the risk of using health food include the misleading marketing claims or overconsumption of certain superfood. Sometimes during the marketing or for the marketing purpose, their misleading claims can be linked to the use of functional food, and this results in overconsumption of certain food, which is can result in imbalanced diet intake, and this may result in some metabolic problems or some metabolic diseases. Now, after we know the meaning of herbs and health food, and as we know, herbs are plant part used as flavor or medicine purposes, and health food are nutrition-rich items used for well-being or disease prevention. And we need to compare now. We need to compare between herbs and health foods. And in brief, herbs are primarily used for medicinal and therapeutic purposes, while health foods are focused on nutrition and disease prevention. Herb used for medicinal and therapeutic objective, and health food used for nutrition and disease prevention. Herbs are culturally tied to traditional medicine system, while health food are linked to dietary tradition and modern wellness marketing. Both of them are culturally linked, but have linked to traditional medicine systems such as Ayurveda and TCM, while health food focus or linked to dietary condition or dietary tradition, traditional customs or systems, and modern wellness marketing effort. The regulatory agencies treat health more like medicines, while health food are regulated as food product. So in this slide we compare between herbs and health food in three criteria or three features. One of them is the primary purpose of herb and health food, and the second feature is to compare between the cultural root or cultural origin of herb and health food, and number three, the regulatory concern about the use or regulation of herb and health food. And we said, as we said, regulatory agencies consider herb as medicine and treated or can be treated and marketed as medicine, are regulated as medicine, while health food are regarded as food product and can be regulated, marketed, and tested for efficacy and safety as food less than to be considered as medicine or as drugs. So in this slide and in this table, again we compare between herbs and health food regarding their primary uses, cultural role, example, and regulation, risk, and the market position of both of them. The regulatory or the regulation for herb, as we said, is stricter and treated as medicine in European Union and WHO framework, while food level regulation, functional claim allowed for health food. And the risk of herb is variability in potency, contamination, and possibility of interaction. For health food, the risk is misleading claim and overconsumption. The market position for herb considered as herbal remedies or as supplement, while health food are marketed as functional food or superfood. And as we stated on the previous slides, functional food are food or dietary components that provide a health benefit that goes beyond their nutritional value, such as improving well-being or reducing the risk of disease. On the other hand, these functional foods may include traditional food that have been shown to impart positive biological effects, or foods that have been modified to impart health benefit. And actually, the functional food, some antibiotics can be added to them, antinutrient or phytochemicals can be added to modify functional food and to import health benefit. Or functional food considered can be or can include traditional food that have shown a positive effect on the biological activity or biological effect. Functional food having a number of synonyms, including superfood, designer food, fortified foods, nutraceuticals, cosmeceuticals, modified foods, vital foods, food for a specified health use, and denoted as FOSHU, FOSHU food, food for a specified health use. Again, functional food can be considered as food in which a component has been enhanced through special growing conditions, or food in which component has been added, removed, modified, or had its bioavailability increased. Besides functional food considered as maybe traditional food or include traditional food, or include modified food by addition of phytonutrient, or maybe food in which component can be enhanced through a special growing condition, and also include food in which component has been added, removed, modified, or increased its bioavailability. And functional food cannot be marketed as medicine because they cannot make therapeutic claims for treating specific diseases. Rather, they are designed to be marketed to healthy consumer to enhance health and prevent disease. And on the other hand, functional food are distinct from dietetic food. And dietetic food, which are designed for treating illness and are marketed to health professionals. So the dietetic food is different from health food because dietetic food are food designed for carbohydrate, lipid, protein, vitamins, and other metabolism correction with modified content and or ratio of certain substances compared to their natural content and or with added substances or ingredients absent in original product. So in other words, the dietetic food food designed for or modified content or ratio of substances, and dietetic food designed for treating illness. For example, for treatment or food for patient with hypertension, or food for patient with diabetes. While functional food is maybe traditional food or food with enhanced components through special growing and marketed for enhance health and prevent disease, while dietetic food are marketed to treat illness. An example of functional food in which phytonutrient or a new compound can be included is the yogurt and probiotics, vitamins and minerals, fortified breakfast cereals, iodized soft or sport drink. All this considered as functional food, which considered as nutrient rich component with added component to enhance health and preventing disease. In functional food, the phytonutrient or phytochemicals or a nutrient can be added to functional food for two objectives. Can be added as active component or can be minimize the anti-nutrient effect of these phytochemicals. And as we know, phytochemicals, known as substances that impart color, taste, smell, as well as possessing therapeutic properties such as anti-cancer, antioxidant, or antimicrobial properties. An example of classes of phytonutrients or phytochemicals that can be added to functional food, including phenolic compounds such as flavonoid, phenolic acids, and lignins, or terpenoidal compounds such as carotenoid, tocopherol, and esterol, or alkaloids such as quinine, or sulfur-containing compounds such as glucosinolates. In this slide, we summarize some examples of phytonutrients or phytochemicals that are added to functional food and their main action and uses. For example, glutathione, or known as thiol, which is found in garlic and vegetable as main sources. The action of glutathione is an antioxidant or chemo preventive, and its clinical uses can have important endogenous antioxidant activity. The second example is caffeic acid, which is classified as phenolic compound or phenolic acid, and the main source of caffeic acid is fruits such as apples, pears, and citrus, and also in some grain and vegetables. Caffeic acid, well known as antioxidant, antihypertensive, antithrombotic, anti-tumor, and antiviral agent. And the clinical uses of caffeic acid is to contribute to maintenance of health, or to maintenance of healthy vision and cardiovascular health. Quercetin is another phenolic or flavonoid compound and found in onions, beans, green tea, black tea, apples, and berries as main food source. Quercetin, well known as anti-allergic, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antiviral agents, which is clinically used to assist in treatment of allergies and prevention of diabetic complications. Another type of phytonutrient class is omega-3 or BUFAs, and three important omega-3 fatty acid, ALA, or alpha-linoleic acid, which is found mainly in plant oil such as flaxseed and soybean. And the second type is DHA, or hexadecanoic or docohexanoic acid, which found in food and other seafood. And the third type of omega-3 fatty acid is EPA, or an EP, or eicosapentaenoic acid, E for eicosa, and P-bentanoic acid, again found in fish and other seafood. And the major source for omega-3 acid is seafood and vegetable oils, and its main action, or their main actions, as antiarrhythmic, anti-carcinogenic, antihypertensive, and anti-inflammatory and cardioprotective agent. And the clinical uses of omega-3 include the reduction of risk of cardiovascular disease, also contribute to maintenance of mental and visual function, and having many other therapeutic uses. The monounsaturated fatty acid, which occur on olive and canola oil as a major biological source. Monounsaturated fatty acids having anti-atherogenic, antihypertensive, and anti-inflammatory action, and clinically used to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. The third type of phytonutrient class is lactobacilli and bifidobacteria species. And the main source for lactobacilli and bifidobacteria is yogurt and some other fermented food as biological source, as their main action considered as probiotics, and which are clinically used to reduce diarrhea and improve gastrointestinal health and systemic immunity. So based on the type of phytonutrient that can be added to functional food, or the type of functional food which can be obtained by specific growing condition to increase the level of certain component. The difference between food and medicine and the difference between food and herbal medicine is become not clear. And although functional food retains their identity as food and do not include pills, although this fact, the line between food and medicine is fine, and also the line between food and herbal medicine even finer. So, because of this fact, Australia food, including herbal remedies, are regulated according to their intended use, either by TGA, Therapeutic Good Administration, or by food standard in Australia and New Zealand. In Australia, because the difference between food and medicine is very fine, they regulate it and market it according to their intended use, rather than the composition of these functional food. Another important outliers of this lecture, herbs and health food, we need to understand the definition and the difference between the supplement and food. And supplement known as concentrated sources of nutrient, such as vitamins, minerals, amino acid, and botanicals, taken in the form of pills, capsules, powder, or liquid form. And the aim of supplement are designed to supplement the diet to human body. And another example of supplement including vitamin D tablet, fish oil capsule, and herbal extracts such as ginseng. The regulatory status of supplement in the United States. Supplements are regulated under Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, which is denoted as DSHEA, DSHEA, and treated as food, not as drug. And the manufacturers, according to United States guidelines, are responsible for safety of supplement, but FDA does not pre-approve. While in Europe, supplements are regulated as food products, but with stricter labeling and dosage form. In Europe, regarded or regulated as food products and having strict labeling and dosage limit. And in the United States also regarded as food, but there is a less restriction compared to European framework or the European guidelines. While food, when compared to supplement, defined as whole or minimally processed items consumed for nutrition, energy, and cultural identity. The whole or minimally processed items consumed for nutrition, energy, and cultural identity. Food provides macronutrients, including carbohydrate, protein, and fat. Also can provide micronutrient naturally. An example of foods is fruit, vegetables, grain, dairy products, legumes, and meat. The food are strictly regulated for safety, hygiene, and labeling. The health claim, for example, to lower cholesterol must be scientifically approved. The health claim for health food should be approved in order to avoid the misleading claims. In this slide, we will talk on one of the important terms related to health and health food topic. And we need to answer the question, what does individualizing food mean? To answer these questions, the term individualizing food can be explained under the umbrella of three or four concepts. Firstly, individualizing food will be considered as personalized nutrition. Can be explained or interpreted as personalized nutrition. in which adjusting diet based on genetic, metabolic, lifestyle factors. For example, nutrigenomic studies shows how gene influence nutrient absorption. Another concept or another aspect to understand individualizing food, the cultural identity. And food is not just a biological fuel, but it reflects tradition, values, and identity. So, individualizing food also means respecting cultural and personal food practices. The third feature, or the third aspect, the health application of individualized food or application of food in general. The individualizing food means food used in managing chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, or cancer, beside pregnancy, nutrition, and elderly care. The fourth dimension is the behavior dimension to understand or discipline individualizing food. In behavioral dimension, it recognizes that food choices are shaped by psychological, cultural, and social context. In this slide, we compare between individualizing food versus traditional nutrition, and the aim of this slide is to provide an in-depth understanding of individualized food. In comparison between traditional nutrition and individualized food, we focus on 5 dimensions, including the approaches, the goals, the methods, the cultural relevance, and application of traditional nutrition and individualized food. Traditional nutrition approach is general guidelines. For example, the food pyramids, which organize the need for the body need for food or for nutrient. And the goal of traditional nutrition is the population health, and the method applied in traditional nutrition is average nutrient need, and a cultural relevance to the traditional nutrition is limited. There is no unique difference between nations or social group regarding traditional nutrition. And the application of traditional nutrition is in public health policy. While when we compare or when we speak about individualized food, the approach is the need is tailored to genetics, lifestyle, and cultural dimension. And the goal of individualized food is personal health optimization rather than population health. And the method applied in individualized food, including genomic testing, microbiome analysis, and personal preferences. The cultural relevance in individualized food is strong, having a strong emphasis on identity and diversity, an application of individualized food, including disease prevention and personalized. And as we know the importance And the goal and method used in individualizing food. In this slide, we need to show the relation between the meaning of individualized or the meaning of individualizing food and traditional medicine systems. And in fact, traditional medicine system food may be classified as having properties such as heating, cooling, and or drying or moistening, and may be considered to be energetically aligned with one or more of 5 phases of transformation or elements that correspond to different organ system and tissue within body, as well as to different emotions, seasons, color, and so on. So traditional medicine, the food is classified according to its their properties, including their heating effect or drying effect, and they are considered the food are classified or are energetically aligned with one or more 5 phases of transformation or 5 elements which correspond to different organ system or tissues. In summary, traditional medicine can be seen practicing nutriphenomics, whereby a food is used as medicine based on personal phenotype. And as we know, nutriphenomics means food properties as well as constitutional timing of patient may be used to make sophisticated assessment of individual and design dietary prescriptions that are based on individual consumption or the extent of disease development and response to different food. When we investigating the meaning of individualized food or individualizing food in traditional medicine and in modern biomedical sciences, we find that the medical science has not matched the same degree of sophistication and individualizing diet as what happened in traditional medicine, which they see food as or practice individualizing food as nutriphenomic, which related to the patient or individual characters, diseases, and other physiological and psychological condition. However, this the less sophistication regarding individualizing food in biomedical science, the emergence of pharmacogenomic promises to provide drugs best suited to person genetic map. And pharmacogenomics, often abbreviated as PGX, and pharmacogenomics examine how inherited or acquired genetic variation affect drug absorption, metabolism, efficacy, and side effect. So the pharmacogenomic promise to provide drug-based suited to person genetic map. And another aspect of biomedical science that show the importance or the application or the adoption of individualizing food term in biomedical science, including the emergence of nutrigenomics, which promises to deliver an understanding of how the different nutrients affect genes to cause specific conditions, and the ability to design food and dietary recommendations based on assessment of individual genotype. And in fact, nutrigenomics, defined as explores the relationship between human genome, diet, and health outcome. Another important term or terminology in the outline to understand the health food and health is transgenic food, or genetically modified food, or GM foods. And in this slide, we need to answer, or we intend to answer the question: what are transgenic foods, what are transgenic food, or genetically modified food, or GM food? The definition of transgenic food or GM food are known as foods derived from genetically modified organisms, GMOs, where specific genes are inserted or deleted or modified using biotechnology. So, transgenic food is food derived from genetically modified organism where a specific gene is modified or inserted or deleted by using biotechnology techniques. And the techniques used in GM food are recombinant DNA technology, CRISPR and Talin, and other gene editing methods. An example of transgenic food which is produced through these biotechnology techniques include corn, soybean, rice, potatoes, papayas, apples, and pink pineapple. In order to get an in-depth understanding of the term transgenic food, we need to compare between it and conventional food. And the comparison is presented in a table or in comparative table, and based on 5 aspects, including genetic basis, nutritional potential, safety concerns, environmental impact, and regulation. Transgenic foods, the genetic basis are DNA altered or modified via biotechnology, and its nutritional potential can be enhanced. For example, fortified rice. And the safety of transgenic food requires strict testing and regulation, and the environmental impact of transgenic food may reduce pesticide use, but the risk of biodiversity loss is possible. The regulation of transgenic food can be governed or regulated by FDA, Food and Drug Administration, EMA, European Medicine Agency, WHO, and USDA authorities. On the other hand, the conventional food, genetically considered as a product of natural breeding and selection, rather than obtained by biotechnology, modern biotechnology techniques. The nutritional potential of conventional health is limited to natural variation only, and the safety concern, they are generally considered safe, having low risk of genetic spread, and the regulation of conventional foods follow standard food safety law. In the previous slide, we know or we understand the definition of transgenic food, their method of production, and the regulatory framework and the risk. And now we need to highlight the importances of transgenic food. Transgenic food having three main objectives, including agricultural benefit, nutritional improvement, and food technology. The agricultural benefit of transgenic food include resistance to pest, disease, and herbicide, and production of higher yield and reduce the need for chemical pesticide. The nutritional improvement of transgenic food involve enhancement of vitamin or mineral content, and for example, this element can be or this content can be enhanced in golden rice enriched with vitamin A. And the food technology benefit of transgenic food is longer shelf life and reduced spoilage, and improved taste, texture, and appearance of health food or functional food or food in general. On the other hand, although the benefit of transgenic food in agriculture and food technology, they having a risk. A risk of transgenic food include the health concern, in which no confirmed harm, but ongoing debate about allergenicity and long-term effect. Another risk including environmental risk through potential cross-pollination with wild species, and having the biodiversity concerns. The ethical issue of transgenic food also considered one of the risks, and the ownership of genetic patent and food sovereignty and consumer choice. And the public perception of transgenic food, many consumers remain skeptical or doubting about leading to labeling requirement in some countries. And due to the risks and benefit of transgenic food, there are several regulatory concerns regarding transgenic food. And in this slide, we need to spotlight on the regulatory perspective or the regulatory view of transgenic food. In the WHO regulatory perspective, WHO said GM food currently available are generally safe but must be assessed case by case. WHO states that GM food are in general safe, but the safety issue can be assessed case by case or individually. The FDA, or USA Food and Drug Agency stated that transgenic food requires rigorous testing before approval. While in European countries and European Union countries apply stricter regulations, including mandatory labeling. Another important outline which should be highlighted and discussed is the relation between transgenic food or genetically modified food and antibiotic resistance. And in fact, the antibiotic resistance and the GM food intersect because some GM crop historically used antibiotic resistant or antibiotic resistance marker genes during their development, while the risk of this gene transferring to human or animal gut bacteria is considered very small. But it remains as regulatory and public health concern. So, the relation between good or GM food and antibiotic resistance is the intersecting relationship. And the resistance of antibiotic claimed to be generated from the use of antibiotic or antibiotic resistance marker genes during the development of GM crops or genetically modified crops. And although the transfer of this gene to human is very small, the possibility, but it remains a regulatory and health, public health issue or public health concern. The risk of antibiotic resistance that emerged due to the use of antibiotic resistance gene marker in GM food include public health risk and debate about GM food and the environmental resistance. The public health risk of antibiotic resistance is that antibiotic resistance is a major global health challenge responsible for millions of infections annually. And the debate about GM food, even though the risk of gene transfer is minimal, regulators such as FDA and EMA, WHO and EU require a strict safety assessment before approval. And in environmental resistance studies show resistant genes from GM crop can remain in soil ecosystem, raising long-term monitoring needs. Because of the environmental and public health risk, this slide we need to highlight the regulatory perspective or regulatory view of GM food and antibiotic resistance. In EU authority, they are strongly strict GM crops with antibiotic resistance gene markers, and labeling of these crops or product is mandatory. While WHO and FAO are acknowledged risks but emphasize the approved GM food undergo rigorous safety issues. While the national policies in many countries now avoiding using antibiotic resistant genes in new GM crops development. Now, is another important aspect in our topic health, foods and hair is the single cell food. And single cell food, often called as single cell protein or SCP. And SCP defined are as edible proteins derived from microorganisms such as algae, fungi, or yeast or bacteria. They are cultivated as biomass and used as sustainable alternative to traditional protein sources for human and animals. As we said in a previous slide, single cell food or SCP food are derived from or food derived from microorganisms such as fungi, algae, and bacteria. And the micro algae are considered as single cell and as whole plant. It is single cell and at the same time it's classified as whole plant that are at the bottom of food chain and are most productive organism on the planet, using light approximately 3 times more efficiently than higher plant. An example of micro algae that used to produce single cell food are spirulina, chlorella species, and the red or orange algae, including Donalila and Salina. And macroalgae, considered as single cell and whole plant that contain a range of macro and micro nutrients, including chlorophyll, carotenoid, phytonutrient, amino acid, polysaccharides, essential fatty acids, carbohydrates, vitamins, and bioavailable minerals. On the other hand, microalgae can be considered as a mix of food, supplement, and medicine. Those 3 terms can be considered as a mix for a microalgae as source of single cell food. A single cell plant, they represent whole food. However, they are often marketed in capsule and can be taken as supplement or as medicine. This is the explanation for food, supplement, medicine concept for microalgae. Although it is beside a single, it is considered a single plant cell. It represents as whole food. They can be taken in form of capsule and considered as supplement or as medicines. And in contrast to reductionist approach to nutrition, which lead to supplementation with only few specific nutrients, microalgae provide a complex mix of nutrients developed over millions of years of evolution. And on the other hand, although the accumulation or the accumulating research suggests that macroalgae have many health benefits, further research is required to determine their clinical application. After we know the definition of single cell food, that food obtained from microorganisms such as bacteria, algae, and fungi. And we understand the concept of the single cell food considered as supplement food and medicine. And now we need to understand or to highlight the importance or the significance of single cell foods. And the significance includes the sustainability of single cell food, and that means SCB can be produced with less land, water, and energy consumption compared to livestock farming. And another importance of single cell food is food security. And in fact, single cell food offers a scalable solution to global protein shortage, and the health benefit of single cell food to provide higher quality protein and micronutrient, often with fewer allergens than animal protein. And the fourth significance of SCB used used in meat substitute, protein powders, and fortified food as an innovation or innovative source of food. Observe the importance of single cell food as innovative techniques and its sustainability. The risks of single cell food include the consumer acceptance. It's considered having a problem or have low acceptance because some people are hesitant about eating microbial food or food from microbes such as bacteria and fungi. And the another risk is the taste and texture of single cell food, which require processing to make it more palatable. And the regulatory approval of single cell food must pass safety assessment by agency like FDA, EMA, and WHO. And the fourth risk of single cell food is the cost of production, which is still higher than conventional protein in many. Most important outline or topic in the lecture, health foods and herb, is to understand the difference between food science and food nutrient. And the comparison is presented here in comparative table and based on four aspects, including focus, methods, application, and goal. And concerning food science, which is known as bromatology, food science or bromatology focus on the food itself, the composition of food, processing, and safety. And in order to check or to study the composition of food and safety, the methods used in bromatology including chemistry, microbiology, and engineering. And the application of bromatology in food industry, packaging, and product development, with the final goal or aim of bromatology is to improve food quality and safety. In general, bromatology or food science concerned with the composition and safety of food and how can be produced in industry, how can be packaged, and how to develop food product with aim on improved food quality and safety. On the other hand, nutrition science focus on human body and its dietary needs and metabolism, and utilize physiology, biochemistry, clinical studies as methods. The application of nutrition science include the public health, diet planning, and medical nutrition. And the goal of nutrition science is improve human health through